It can be a really challenging time as people continue to work their way through this, and it can, especially if you've been through previous events, it can bring up some pressures. And Dr. Jo Lukens, a psychology expert, lives just around the corner from the ABC here in North Queensland, and she's dropped by. Hi, Dr. Jo. How are you doing at your place?
Good morning, Susan. We're well, thank you. Thank you for asking.
That's good to hear, and I think a lot of people have been cooped up for all of this rain, but it's nice, at least for now, that we're not hearing the rain on the roof and we're not hearing the wind come past.
Yeah, I must say, as you said, I live close by, so I walked here, so I did appreciate a little bit of fresh air and getting outside, even though it was with the brolly.
We've heard from a few people who've called through and thinking back to previous events, whether that be 2019 or some people even events back into the 60s, that they stay with us. So it's always really important to consider that people are coping with this in very different ways.
I think that's a really important point, Susan, because, obviously we're dealing with this current event, but it's really helpful for us all to remember that we're bringing to this event all of our history. So if you have been through very challenging weather events, and they might even be different kinds of events in the past, just to be mindful about how that might impact us and then impact those people that we're talking to as well.
Mm. And we all process things so very differently. As you've probably seen while I'm in here, I'm not thinking about anything outside in my personal life and how my own house is going, but different people will be in different situations and mindsets. And I often wonder, do I text people and say, how you doing? Do I call them? Or will that bring up things for them? It's that challenge of, do you call or do you not? Or do you engage? How do you reach out to people in a way that's safe for you and also safe for them?
Yeah, I think sometimes just sharing with them that can be, I wasn't sure whether or not to reach out, not sure how you're going, not sure where your phone charge is at, that sort of thing. So we've got quite a few family and friends in the Ingham district, and we're very mindful about power there. So, for some of them, it was a text message this morning. We didn't want to chew up their phone, but we also didn't want them to know we weren't thinking of them.
Yes.
So whilst there's probably nothing too much practical we can do, I think that emotional support is really important. And also not necessarily knowing is okay.
Yeah. And sometimes just knowing that people are concerned and thinking of you is reassuring in a sense as well.
Yeah, absolutely, that sense of community. I know myself when I turned the radio on yesterday and heard your voice and first of all thought, what's Susan doing on the radio on a Sunday? But then there was this overwhelming feeling of, oh, she's there.
There's nowhere I'd rather be. This is where I want to be in these sorts of times. Well, Dr. Jo, thank you very much for dropping by, and I will let you get home in case it starts to rain once again. Thank you very much. Stay safe at your place, and we'll keep in touch.
Thanks, Susan. All the best to all the listeners.
Thank you very much. That's Dr. Jo Lukens, psychology expert, just encouraging us to do some gentle check-ins with our mates just to make sure that they're going okay at their place.